everyone, I'm Whitney Adams, the host of the Whitney A channel on YouTube, and I'm coming to you from the WSWA TV studio here at the 73rd Annual WSWA Convention and Exposition in Las Vegas, and I could not be more excited to be joined by Tito Beveridge, the founder of Tito's Handmade Vodka. Hello, Tito.
Hello.
A man that could go by only one name, but we should not leave out the last name because, hello, I think you were made for this industry.
That's right. Nomenclature is destiny, is what my wife says.
Exactly.
But, yeah. It's Beveridge with a ridge, but I caught plenty of grief about my last name growing up. Everybody's like, your dad in the beverage business? Like, no, he's in the trucking business.
Well, look at you now.
Yeah,
right?
Now my kids, it's like, yeah, my dad's in the beverage
That's
business.
Right, that's right.
It's awesome.
You have created a brand that is probably one of the most acclaimed, well-known, successful liquor brands out there. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
In a relatively short amount of time, there's been a huge growth in
20
this business.
years.
Well, yeah, but still.
A 20-year overnight success.
It's something that everybody knows now.
Right.
And can you talk a little bit about the kind of origin of the brand and how you got started? I think it's a little bit of a unique story.
Okay, well, I started, first of all, I'm an oil and gas guy. I'm a geologist, geophysicist, I'd worked on oil rigs before that, worked as a geologist on oil rigs, subsurface mapping, ran heliportable dynamite seismic crews in South America, had a drilling company, got in the environmental business, then got in the mortgage business, and I was making flavored vodkas for friends for Christmas presents. And I would just take stock vodka and throw in some habaneros, or take stock vodka and throw in some like black cherries, raspberries. And I just put Merry Christmas from Tito just right on the Skull Kamchatka label.
Right.
And kind of from doing that for 3 years, people would come up to me and go, hey, you're the vodka guy.
Right.
And so rates went up a couple of points in the mortgage business, and I was like, what am I going to do next? And I decided that I was going to get into the liquor business and kind of turn this whole work thing on its head and spend, instead of 2 weeks being in like bars and restaurants and liquor stores, and I thought, I could be out at a distillery making booze and then be in bars and restaurants, liquor stores. The whole rest of the time it'd be like you're not working at all. And so that's kind of the idea. And I tried to sell it at liquor stores, and people were like, look, and this is back in like 93, and people were like, look, man, there's all these brands out here, blah, blah, blah. And one guy told me if you could make a vodka that was smooth enough for a girl to drink straight, that you might have something. And so I took some kind of, oil-filled, knowledge that I'd gained overseas of people making little stills, and they're working in, in Saudi Arabia or something. And I built a little still and started cooking it off. And now it's kind of weird that it's like, I was really trying to make $1,200 a month, and now it's gotten to where it's, we're nationwide.
Yeah, it's incredible.
People like drinking it.
Yeah, it sure is delicious. I love it.
Thank you very much.
It's my house vodka, so.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate your support.
Yeah, of course. Can you talk about your relationship with wholesalers and how you think that has really grown your business?
Yeah, well, like I said, my family was in the trucking business. They hauled cars, and so I know enough about the trucking business to know that I don't want to be in the trucking business. So I really appreciate our wholesalers getting the product to market.
Yeah, to the people.
And for me, WSWA, I started off here. I call it the snake pit in the exhibition hall.
Yeah.
I worked a table myself. I would go and get the stuff at the, down below at the docks, and bring it up and set up my table, my booth, work it, close it down, tear it down.
Right.
Go around with half pints in my pockets and have my business card on them, pass them out, and start off like that. And then after like 4 or 5 years of doing that, I think I got a junior suite, that was way off in, one of the odd buildings that nobody ever came to, and started building relationships from there. And so, I just got through with some meetings this morning, with some of the guys that I met at WSWA when I was first starting out, that I'd handed, flasks to and stuff, and they're my distributors today. And, we've grown together and, just kind of developed our friendships together, and it's just really turned out to be a super deal. And, I love the whole WSWA and the wholesale business. It's made my business what it is today.
And this morning, you also received a fantastic award. Congratulations, the Sidney Frank Award, which really honors your philanthropy and being a leader in the industry. What's the importance really for you of giving back in this industry and within your business?
Well, I mean, I look at it like we kind of sprung from our communities, really all across the country. And I mean, to tell you the truth, when I first started off at WSWA, I was a charity case, and to get to the point where you've got your needs filled, and you're taking care of your family and whatnot, then the natural extension, especially in the hospitality industry, is to help out people that haven't had a break or been as fortunate as you have, and so we find ourselves in this business to be just unique in that. I mean, the alcohol business is a very social business. People like to get together and talk about problems that need to be solved, or blow off a little steam, or celebrate some occasion, and so for philanthropy, doing fundraisers, or or even just giving money, flat out just giving money to to projects is just, I mean, not only does it help out the people that are on the receiving end, but you always feel great about it, and I know my people that work for me, it gives them a sense of meaning and purpose, and it just basically just kind of throw some love around the world, and some goodness, and
we feel the love.
Try to make the world a better place. It's kind of like your mama always told you. If you can leave it better than you found it, that's what you try to do. So,
that's right. And the Sidney Frank Company awards $10,000 to a charity of your choice. Can you talk about the charity that you've chosen?
Yeah. I chose CORE.
Okay.
We already support CORE. In fact, I think we're one of their. We're a big supporter of CORE. And it's the children of restaurant employees.
Right.
And I mean, we sponsor all kinds of charities, but the hospitality industry is the greatest business in the world.
Yeah.
Just the nicest people. As I try to explain to my friends, it's like, how like we'd always hang out in that corner of the keg party? It's like the people that hung out in that corner, except they never wanted to leave the keg party, so they figured out a way to stay to be in the business of selling beer and wine and liquor, right?
That's right.
I mean, they're just nice social people. They deal with the general public all the time, which is challenging. I mean, it's a demanding general public that's out there, right? And so generally people that stick with it in the hospitality industry have great attitudes and great dispositions. They're just really great people. So we just feel honored to be a part of CORE, and to help out children and restaurant employees who, have challenges.
Yeah.
So it's great, and there's lots of great charities out there, and we try to support them all, to tell you the truth. And we find ourselves in a unique position to do that.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's really amazing.
It's a great way to go through life.
Yeah. And you had a funny story about Sidney Frank from your early days at WSWA, and it's kind of probably a surreal thing. You're sitting here today winning the Sidney Frank Award. What happened back then with Mr. Sidney Frank?
Well, when I first did my first WSWA, so I'm down here in the exhibit hall and stuff, and and then you go through the program and you see that people have these suites up above, and I was just like, I want to see it how like the big guys do it, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, back in those days, the Diageos and Pernots, we're still doing the WSWA. So you go to their suites and whatever, kind of stodgy, and and then you go to, then I was like, oh, Jägermeister. Well, I mean, I wonder what they're doing, right? They must have all the Jägerettes up there, right? And so I went to go see how you did it right with all the Jägerettes. And it was back in the day when the Jägerettes would wear like holsters, and have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they used to have these holsters. They put the Jäger bottles in it, and then for bullets they'd have shot glasses, right? And so they go around like that.
Clever.
Yeah, and they're dressed in just full
crazy,
shot girl attire, right? As you can well imagine. And so you go up there, and of course there's 30 shot girls up there, and they're all like just beautiful model shot girls. And then here's Sidney Frank comes out, and I swear to God, he had like slippers and like pajama bottoms and a robe like he was Hugh Hefner. And I swear, I think he had a bow tie on, with his bathrobe. And I was just like, what's up with the, like, well, he's kind of eccentric and eclectic and, all those words,
Yeah.
And then since then, I just have heard just countless stories about what a great guy he was and a character. And then, of course, when he sold Grey Goose, he gave away a lot of money to some universities, and I think he just kind of did the right things,
Yeah.
And our business is filled with people like that.
Sure.
The wholesalers are very philanthropic themselves. All of them have projects that they care about.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them don't ever, like, you would never know it. I know in Texas, I heard stories about the owners, Glazers back in the old days. That, the nurses college would come to him and just say, we're short 48 nurses in the DFW, and he'd go, what's that cost? And they'd tell him, and he'd just write a check, give it to him, pay for the education of 48 nurses, and then never say a word about it. It's like the best philanthropy is done just tight-lipped and done, right?
Great.
You don't get anything back. It's more like kind of paying it forward.
Paying it forward.
But there's a lot of that going on in our industry. It's a bunch of great people.
Yeah. And before we go, just one last question. Do you have any advice for someone that's starting out in the beverage industry, starting with a new brand, based on your experience or lessons you've learned from mentors that you've had?
Sure. The best thing I can tell you is make something that you like to drink, because you will be drinking a whole lot of it. So first of all, make something that you really like to drink. And then I always tell everyone who's thinking about being an entrepreneur, getting into business, like, make a list of what you love to do and what you're good at. Yeah. Just take a sheet of paper, draw a line down the middle, what you love to do, what you're good at. And then after you made your list, just look at it and think of how you can wrap a job around it. And the worst thing that'll happen is you'll end up doing something that you love to do that you're good at every day.
There you go.
And even if you have a couple of hiccups and failures, I had an oil business, Uno Oil, it went belly up. I didn't owe anybody any money, but I had to close it down. I had a drilling business, and same thing.
Yeah.
Didn't owe anybody any money, but had to close it down. I got in the mortgage business, and rates went bad, and I just had to move on. And I mean, I've had several setbacks.
Right.
Looking back on it, just kind of all of really my failures ended up being the foundation of my future success. And I really think just as long as you're out there trying to follow your passion, trying to do every day something that you really enjoy doing, that things will work out eventually. You might go through some hard times. You might just feel like, oh my God, I'm going to die, and but you won't. And those end up. It's funny how I tried to raise $18 million to start a distillery, and I got zero. So then I tried to raise like 1.2, and I got zero. And then I just tried to raise like 50 grand, and I got zero. But it ended up, if I would have raised all that money, I wouldn't have the knowledge and the brand I have today, because it really just kind of forced me to do everybody's job and to really learn kind of.
Exactly.
And I didn't have any preconceptions about what's the right way to do it. So I just kind of tried everything and figured it out.
And here you are.
Yeah, just had fun doing it. So, greatest business in the world.
Excellent advice. Thank you so much for joining us.
You bet. Thank you, Whitney.
And thank you for joining us at WSWA TV.